This here is our TL880. It is the alarm.com communicator for alarm systems, and it deals with monitoring, which means that once the alarm is set off, then this communicates with our monitoring station. They call it police, fire, ambulance, whatever is needed. So this is a key component to our alarm systems, and how we're going to open it is very simply, take your screwdriver, you go into these slots here, push, and pull up, so you get a little bit, go down to the bottom, do the exact same thing, you pop the cover off, and now you have access to the entire interior. So when we were going over the interior, we have our specific areas here. We have TX, RX, so TX positive and negative, RX positive, negative, ground, and 12 volt. So that means that we need 2 Z station in order to wire this up correctly. We also have a Ethernet cable here that we're going to get plugged in, and we'll go over kind of how everything goes together here. Now, there is no color combination that is exact. It is exactly how you do it, but we will go over how this correlates with the command module in the alarm panel itself. So I'm gonna get this wired up quick and then show you guys how it's done. Alrighty, we now have the TL880 wired. So we've got our first cable right in behind, oh, if I can find it, right here. So one cable right there, that is plugged into our TX and RX, both positive and negative respectively. And then we've got another cable that is running to the ground 12 volt. Now, to make this a bit easier on yourselves, for the first kind of go around, you can use 2 different colors of station Z. It'll make it a little bit easier to keep track of what's your power and what is your communication. And then on the other hand, we have our Cat5 cable that is now plugged in, because the TL880 uses both cellular and internet in order to communicate with the monitoring stations. So we have different channels for things on the back. This one here is going to be for the antenna that comes along with the TL880 itself, which is this guy. It has 3M tape. That's how we're going to install it. We then have a channel here for the internet, which will come out the side here, and then your other 2 cables will go with the antenna out this direction. Now, these are enclosed for the time being, so what we're going to do is just take a pair of pliers, go in, grab, pull. We now have an opening. Do the same thing in the bottom. This normally comes out in 2 pieces, like so. And now we have that open. So we'll have our internet cable then run out and over. Now that's in its own slot, so when it sits against the wall, it's nice and flush. And then we're going to have our other 3 cables here, so they end up doing all the same thing. By the time they are sitting on a wall, they're nice and flush, because this guy needs to be pressed in all the way in order for it to realize that it is against a wall and all good to go. So let's go and install this guy, and then we'll get into the wiring portion. Alrighty, so now we're going to be doing the TL880, we like to call it TL880 install. So I'm going to be using a few screws here to get everything in and together. Alrighty. So I'm going to mount it up here. That way we can make the lines go over and look nice by going down, kind of follow the exact same path. We can throw ourselves in there another zip tie or 2. I've made the antenna a bit shorter. That way we can make it look good. So I'm going to block it a little bit while I just get this all together. So I'm going to throw one in there. I grab a level. I've got a little one instead of my larger torpedo. And set it in there, make it level like so. Now we have it level. Looks good. All right, cool. So that's effectively just how we get it up. make it look good, keep it around where the panel is there. I'm going to get all of this set up and done, and then we'll come back for the wiring over here and then show you an overview of the entire alarm system. And that will be the panel completed. Alrighty, I'll see you in a second. So in here, we have our wiring done. Now, the confusing part about the TL880 is the fact that your polarities, so your positive and negative, does not change. At your module, if it is RX positive, we'll use it as an example. If it is RX positive, you are plugging into TX positive at the control module, right? That's the biggest thing. So from panel to there, we'll just reverse RX to TX, because if it's receive down here, it's transmit up there, and if it's transmit down here, it's receive up there. So that's kind of the basic behind that. I'll put up a easier to understand graphic, but that was what really threw me off in the beginning and why I was wiring these fairly incorrectly. So we're going to move on from here, and we're going to close it up. There we have it. That's how we install an alarm panel with a TL880 communicator. It's not too bad. It's pretty easy to do. It'll get faster with time, and you'll have a better understanding of it as time goes on. It becomes much easier, and it's one of my favorite things to do, actually, is wire up a panel. It feels quite nice when you finally get it all done. So thank you very much for watching. The next video will be on keypad installation. So keypad and devices. Alrighty, thank you very much for watching.